You've been lied to. Not by politicians, not by secret societies, not even by the media. You've been lied to by someone far more convincing. Yourself. Every day you wake up and slip into a role. You get dressed, you speak, you smile, you believe you are you. But who decided who you are? Was it truly your choice? Or just a series of borrowed beliefs, reactions, and fears? From childhood, you were trained to conform, taught what's acceptable, what's admirable, what's normal. And little by little, you became that. Not because it's who you are, but because it's what was rewarded. Let me introduce you to Ava. Everyone sees her as calm, reliable, polite. She never complains, never makes a scene. But she's tired, not physically, spiritually, because she's been performing for so long. She's forgotten what her real voice sounds like. One night, someone asked her, "If you could be anything, what would you be?" And she couldn't answer. Not because she didn't care, but because she no longer knew what she wanted. This is what the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre called bad faith, a kind of self-deception, pretending your choices are yours when they're really just roles you've been assigned. It's easier to play the part than face the freedom of being real. We do this all the time. You say, "I'm just not that kind of person." But what does that really mean? Are you protecting a truth or avoiding one? Alan Watts once said, "You are under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago." Yet most of us cling to our identity like armor, afraid that if we let it go, we'd lose our place in the world. But here's the paradox. The more tightly you hold on to the self you've built, the further you drift from who you truly are. Carl Jung called the image we show the world the persona, a carefully crafted mask we wear to belong. It's not evil. It serves a purpose. It gets us jobs, friends, acceptance. But over time, the mask begins to stick, and the face beneath it is forgotten. Deep down, another self waits, the one you exiled, the one that holds your unspoken fears, desires, truths. Jung called this hidden part the shadow. You may not see it, but it sees you. It shows up in strange ways, in anger you can't explain, in habits you can't control, in sudden envy, shame, or fear. Ever wonder why certain people trigger you? Why some traits in others make your skin crawl? Arrogance, laziness, drama. But what if the reason they bother you is because you've buried those same traits in yourself? Not because they're wrong, but because someone once told you they were. You weren't allowed to be bold, so now bold people upset you. You weren't allowed to be vulnerable, so you mock those who are. The truth is, we often hate in others what we're not allowed to be ourselves. This is the danger of suppressing the shadow. What you ignore controls you. It leaks out through sarcasm, procrastination, addiction, any way it can find a voice. So how do we stop living a lie? How do we begin to remember the person we were before the world taught us who to be? Carl Jung called this process individuation, the inner journey of becoming whole by reconciling two opposing forces within you, the persona and the shadow. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about uncovering what you abandoned. It's about meeting yourself beneath the layers. It's not an easy path. It demands honesty. It requires the courage to face your own contradictions. But it is the only path to true self-awareness. Here's how you begin. Step 1. Examine the mask. Start with the image you present to the world, your persona. It's the version of you that wins approval, avoids conflict, gets things done. Take a moment and write down 5 words that describe how others see you. Maybe it's polite, driven, easygoing, funny, strong. Now pause and ask, are these truly me, or just the performance I've learned to play? Do I feel free inside these traits, or boxed in? The mask isn't always false, but it is always incomplete. Step 2. Discover the shadow. Your shadow holds everything you've learned to hide, not just the dark or shameful, but also the powerful. To find it, look outward. Write down the traits that irritate or provoke you in others. Maybe it's arrogance. Maybe it's weakness. Maybe it's attention-seeking. Now ask, why do these traits bother me? Often it's because they reflect something you've exiled in yourself, a desire you weren't allowed to have, a truth you were taught to suppress. The shadow isn't evil, it's the unaccepted parts of you, waiting to be seen. Step 3. Integrate the shadow. This is where healing begins. You don't destroy the shadow. You give it space to breathe. You let it speak. Turn your anger into boundaries. Turn your envy into inspiration. Turn your fear into curiosity. Use whatever tools bring you inward. Journaling, reflection, art, stillness. Ask yourself, not, how do I fix this? But, what is this part of me trying to say? Because when you stop pushing away who you are, you stop fighting yourself. And in that stillness, you meet someone real. For the next 24 hours, become an observer of your own life. Notice when you shapeshift to fit in, when you nod though you disagree, when you shrink though you want to expand. Don't try to change it, just see it. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. Because the real you was never gone, only hidden. And now you're ready to find them. For deeper questions, sharper truths, and the journey toward the self beneath the script, subscribe to Bright Curious, because becoming who you are is the most radical act of all.